Welcome to this edition of the BRSN Insider. I'm sitting down with Benedictine College Football player Shaefer Schuetz. Shaefer, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
4-1 on the season so far. What are your thoughts on the season?
I think we started off doing a great job, and even after the loss, I don't think we did a bad thing, but definitely a lot of things that we need to work on. Those have kind of shown themselves, I guess, playing against a good team. Some things that we might have been able to get away with those first few weeks didn't quite work out this past week.
You mentioned the Baker game that you guys, number 2 team in the country, came in here. Tale of two halves, basically, where trailed by 25 at halftime, led the offense all the way back, and they scored with a minute left. What was your mindset throughout the game?
Yeah, you mentioned that at one point in time, we were down 25, which is never good for one's ego, I guess you could say. And so definitely some guys were down. But, when we walked in the locker room, I knew that we were going to make at least some kind of a comeback just by the way the guys were conducting themselves and the way their body language was. I knew that there wasn't any quit, I guess, that had already set in. So came out, continued to fight, ended up tying it up, but couldn't quite finish it out. So, but definitely proud of the way the guys bounced back and kept fighting.
What was the mindset like after that game? What was the locker room like after that loss?
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't. There were some positives to take away, but definitely a pretty somber locker room. A game that we felt we should have won, that we didn't. And so a tough loss, but at the same time, I guess a lone solace to take from it is that that's the number 2 team in the country, and we feel like they deserve to be in that spot, and we feel like we should have beat them. So it's just kind of a nice benchmark for us, knowing that we can compete at that level. And, if we're lucky, we might see them again.
Get a chance to bounce back this week. You guys go to Central Methodist. What do you know about them yet, and what are your expectations for that game?
Yeah, Central Methodist, a team that had a tough loss last weekend where they actually had to come back of their own, so a scrappy bunch over there. A good team. I know they're a great quarterback, just a gun for an arm, so the potential to make big plays on offense, and their defense looks solid as well. So hopefully we come out firing on all cylinders and are able to bounce back after last week.
Okay, so what does a week of game prep look like for you?
Yeah, so, definitely the boring stuff, film practice, and then, let's see, I'm trying to think if there's something kind of funny that I do before. I guess every Friday I mow the lawn. That's my lawn work day, the night before games, so I guess that's kind of the only interesting thing I do that might be different from some other guys.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about you. So tell us your year, your major, and what your plans are after you get done here.
Yeah, so I'm a junior in the classroom, sophomore on the field. I redshirted my freshman year. I'm studying management and finance, and to be honest with you, Dakota, I have no idea what I want to do with my life. So couldn't tell you much about after graduation at this point. But
outside of football, what brought you to Benedictine?
Yeah, I think definitely the people. When I came here on my visit a few years ago, it's just such a friendly place. You know what I mean? I don't think I held the door open for myself my entire visit. Just walking by people on campus, everybody says hello, and I think definitely the people is the number one thing that brought me here. Plus, just a gorgeous campus and beautiful setting.
Okay, final question for you. You've been here this is your 3rd year on campus now. Mm-hmm. What would you say to yourself as a recruit to get you to come to Benedictine?
Yeah, I think I feel like I knew what I wanted to do. There was just kind of some things that were holding me back that I guess just thinking that I could play at maybe a higher level or something like that. And it's just go where you're wanted, I guess, is my biggest thing. Where they want you and where you're going to be able to make an impact. And I think I made that decision. I think it was definitely the right decision.
All right, Shaefer, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah.
Benedictine College Football player Shaefer Schuetz on the BRSN Insider.
Benedictine College is a chosen place with a special mission. Chosen to lead students in the classroom and outside it. Chosen to bring students closer to God and to each other. Chosen to build one of the great Catholic colleges in America.
Back on the BRSN Insider, I'm sitting down with new Benedictine College wrestling coach Marcus Cobbs. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and how you got to Benedictine.
Well, I graduated from William Penn University. After I graduated from William Penn, I started my coaching career. I was up in Nebraska for a little bit, and then finished my master's degree, and then I was coaching for the last 4 years at Truett-McConnell University in Georgia. That being far from home for a while, I was wanting to get back closer to my family. My family's from Chicago. My wife's family's from St. Louis, so we definitely wanted to get the family back closer to family, and definitely wanted to get back into the Midwest where wrestling is very popular, wrestling is very prevalent, and a lot of great recruits are here in the Midwest, and it's very competitive. So just what really brought me to Benedictine was the tradition, the winning tradition. I wrestled in this conference before Benedictine had wrestling, so I'm very familiar with this conference, and so that was a big reason why I definitely wanted to come up here.
Hey, you've been here since July. What has the recruiting process been for you since you've been here?
As far as recruiting process, well, I've been connecting with a lot of the local coaches, a lot of my coaches that I grew up working with and that took me through various practices and been a big influence on me. I've been contacting with them, seeing what they have, working with them, reaching out and seeing what kind of athletes they have to offer, and just working with the local kids clubs, traveling to various different high schools, and just staying in contact with all the great talent that we have here in the Midwest.
How has the preseason training gone so far?
Well, preseason's gone awesome. We had 3 weeks of 2-a-days, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning for our first practice, and then 3:30 in the afternoon for our second practice. The guys did real good. I was very impressed. I got a lot of hungry guys on this team. I think they were excited to have that leadership. They were willing to push themselves. I didn't get any complaints when it came to the workouts. I mean, many athletes know when it comes to preseason, it's pretty grueling. It's real hard, and these guys sucked it up and full steam forward and did their best and did a great job.
What are your expectations as of right now for the season?
I've got high expectations. I'm a competitor myself, so I'm always wanting to be at the top of the pack. We're in a really tough conference. We've got great competition here in this conference, but I think with the guys that we have, there's no doubt in my mind that we can be at the top of the pack and be a team to look out for here come nationals time. Definitely should, as my expectation as far as nationally ranked, I think we can definitely be a top 15, top 10 ranked team. It's all about keeping these guys healthy and keeping them technically in shape and then mentally in shape.
Who are some guys that we should be keeping an eye on in your program?
Okay. As far as returners, I definitely think, Josh Romero is someone that you'd be looking out for. Tyler Mann. Those two gentlemen would be around the 157, 165 weight class. They're just very talented. They have great leadership. They're seniors as well. Tyler Harris, who's a junior, he was here before, but he transferred back in from San Francisco State. Just very talented, great work ethic. Just someone I think has a great mat sense when it comes to wrestling. As far as newcomers, David Berryman, who's a KC native. He went to Staley High School. He's very talented. Myself has wrestled with him in a couple summer practices and stuff like that. He's just really tough, really mat aware. And then another couple guys would be Austin Roper, Jackson Cerna, and Evan Solis. Evan Solis and Cerna are both from California. Austin Roper comes to us from the University of Missouri. Was a 3-time state champion, 4-time finalist in high school. Just a very talented young man.
What can we expect from Marcus Cobbs' coach team?
You're gonna see a lot of heart, a lot of strong-willed individuals. You're gonna see guys who are not only going out to give 100% on the mat, but they're gonna go out to give 100% in the classroom. They're gonna have a relationship with Jesus Christ. These are guys that are gonna be very influential in our community as far as working with those in our community as younger guys, and definitely a team that you can look up to and a team that you can point out and say this team is doing all the right things to be the best.
All right, Coach, thank you very much for joining us. Benedictine College Wrestling Coach Marcus Cobbs on the BRSN Insider.
Benedictine College is a chosen place with a special mission. chosen to lead students in the classroom and outside it. Chosen to bring students closer to God and to each other. Chosen to build one of the great Catholic colleges in America.